In the grand halls of Buckingham Palace, where centuries of tradition echo through marble corridors, one woman's quiet dedication has shaped the future of the British monarchy in ways the public never knew. While the world watched Prince William and Catherine navigate their royal duties, raise their children, and represent the crown across the globe, a devoted figure worked behind the scenes, her gentle hands guiding the next generation of royals through their most formative years. This is not a story of crowns and ceremonies, but of the extraordinary bond between a humble woman from Norfolk and the family that would come to see her not as staff but as irreplaceable family. For over a decade she wiped tears, celebrated first words, and provided the steady presence that allowed future kings and princesses to simply be children. Now, in a moment that has moved even the most stoic members of the royal household to tears, her unwavering service has been recognized in the most prestigious way possible. What happens when loyalty transcends duty, when service becomes love, and when a nanny becomes so much more than her title suggests? This is the remarkable true story of how one woman's dedication earned her a place not just in royal history but in the hearts of a nation. The morning mist hung low over the Norfolk countryside as Maria Teresa Turian Barallo adjusted her crisp uniform and checked her watch one final time. It was March 2014, and she stood at the threshold of what would become the most significant chapter of her life. The 43-year-old Spanish nanny, with her impeccable qualifications from the prestigious Norland College, had no idea that accepting this position would transform her from a highly skilled childcare professional into an integral part of one of the world's most famous families. Maria's journey to this moment had been carefully orchestrated by years of dedication to her craft. Born in Palencia, a quiet city in northwestern Spain, she had always possessed a natural affinity for children. Her own childhood, spent in a close-knit family where multiple generations lived under one roof, had instilled in her the values of patience, discretion, and unwavering loyalty that would later make her invaluable to the Cambridge household. The decision to pursue childcare as a career came during her university years when she realized that her true passion lay not in the corporate world her business degree might have opened, but in the nurturing and development of young minds. This realization led her to England and the hallowed halls of Norland College in Bath, an institution renowned for producing the world's most elite nannies. The training was rigorous, covering everything from child psychology and advanced first aid to defensive driving and cybersecurity awareness. At Norland, Maria excelled in every aspect of her training. Her instructors noted her exceptional ability to remain calm under pressure, her intuitive understanding of child development, and most importantly, her absolute discretion. These qualities, combined with her fluency in multiple languages and her sophisticated understanding of protocol, made her a standout candidate for high-profile positions. The call came on a crisp February morning in 2014. The voice on the other end of the line was measured, professional, but carried an underlying excitement that was hard to miss. The Cambridge household was seeking a nanny for 8-month-old Prince George, and Maria's name had risen to the top of a very exclusive list. The position would require the highest levels of security clearance, absolute discretion, and the ability to adapt to a life lived largely in the public eye. Maria's first meeting with Prince William and Catherine took place at Kensington Palace, in a sitting room that managed to feel both grand and intimate. The young royal couple, still adjusting to parenthood while managing their growing list of royal duties, were looking for someone who could provide stability and nurturing care for their son while understanding the unique pressures of royal life. Catherine, dressed simply but elegantly, immediately put Maria at ease with her warm smile and genuine interest in her background. She asked thoughtful questions about Maria's approach to child development, her thoughts on maintaining routines while traveling, and how she balanced structure with allowing children the freedom to explore and learn. William, meanwhile, focused on practical concerns about security protocols and the challenges of maintaining privacy in a world where every outing might be photographed. What struck Maria most during this initial meeting was how normal they seemed. Despite their titles and the grandeur of their surroundings, William and Catherine were simply parents who wanted the best for their child. They spoke of their hopes for George to have as normal a childhood as possible, their concerns about the pressures he would face as he grew older, and their desire to find someone who could become a trusted part of their family. The chemistry between Maria and baby George was immediate and undeniable. The 8-month-old prince, who had been somewhat fussy during the early part of the meeting, settled almost instantly when Maria held him. She spoke to him in soft, soothing tones, switching effortlessly between English and Spanish, and the baby seemed genuinely captivated by her presence. William and Catherine exchanged meaningful glances, both recognizing that they were witnessing something special. Over the following weeks, Maria underwent extensive background checks and security training. The process was thorough and sometimes overwhelming, covering everything from potential kidnapping scenarios to protocols for international travel. She was briefed on the complex hierarchy of royal staff, the intricate rules of precedence, and the absolute importance of maintaining confidentiality about every aspect of the family's private life. During this period, Maria also spent increasing amounts of time with George, gradually taking on more responsibilities as both she and the family grew comfortable with the arrangement. She quickly established routines that would become the foundation of George's daily life, incorporating elements of both traditional British childcare and her own Spanish heritage. Morning walks in Kensington Gardens became a cherished routine, with Maria pointing out different birds and flowers while George gurgled happily in his pram. The public first became aware of Maria's presence during a family trip to Australia and New Zealand in April 2014. Photographs showed a composed, professional woman accompanying the royal family, always maintaining a respectful distance while clearly being an essential part of the group. The British press, with their characteristic attention to detail, quickly identified her as a Norland-trained nanny, and speculation about her background and qualifications filled the tabloids for weeks. What the public couldn't see, however, was how seamlessly Maria had integrated into the family's daily life. She had developed her own relationships with other members of the royal household, earning respect for her professionalism and warmth. The palace staff, initially cautious about accepting a new member into their tight-knit community, found themselves genuinely fond of the Spanish woman who brought such obvious joy to little Prince George. Catherine in particular found in Maria not just an exceptional nanny but someone she could trust completely with her most precious responsibility.
Late-night feedings became opportunities for quiet conversations about George's development, his personality quirks, and the small milestones that might go unnoticed by others, but meant everything to a new mother. Maria's gentle guidance helped Catherine navigate the challenges of first-time motherhood while managing the pressures of public life.
William, too, developed a deep appreciation for Maria's contribution to their family. He admired her ability to maintain George's routines, even during official engagements, her skill in keeping the young prince calm and happy during long days, and her intuitive understanding of when to step forward and when to remain in the background.
More than once he found himself genuinely grateful for her presence during particularly challenging public events. As months passed, it became clear that Maria was more than just an employee. She was becoming family. George's first words included Maria, spoken with the same affection he reserved for Mama and Papa. His face would light up when he saw her each morning, and he would reach for her with the complete trust that only children can show to those who love them unconditionally. The bond between Maria and the Cambridge family deepened further with each passing day.
She celebrated George's first birthday with them, sharing in the joy and wonder of watching him take his first tentative steps. She was there for every milestone, every small triumph, and every moment of typical toddler difficulty. Her calm presence became a constant in a life that was anything but ordinary. When Catherine became pregnant with Princess Charlotte in 2014, Maria's role evolved once again.
She helped prepare George for the arrival of his sister, reading him stories about becoming a big brother and involving him in age-appropriate preparations for the new baby.
Her experience with sibling dynamics, gained through her years of training and previous positions, proved invaluable during this transition period. The arrival of Princess Charlotte in May 2015 marked another milestone in Maria's relationship with the family. She seamlessly expanded her care to include the new princess while ensuring that George didn't feel displaced or forgotten. The delicate balance required to nurture two young children while maintaining their individual needs and personalities showcased Maria's exceptional skills and deep understanding of child development. By the end of her first year with the family, Maria had become an indispensable part of the Cambridge household. Her quiet competence, unwavering loyalty, and genuine affection for the children had earned her a place in their hearts that went far beyond her professional qualifications. What had begun as a job had transformed into something much deeper: a calling, a family bond, and the foundation of what would become one of the most trusted relationships within the modern royal family. The transformation was mutual. The shy, reserved woman who had first walked through the doors of Kensington Palace had blossomed into a confident, integral member of one of the world's most scrutinized families. She had found her true purpose, and in return had given William and Catherine the peace of mind that comes from knowing their children were in the most loving, capable hands possible. The years that followed Charlotte's arrival brought new dimensions to Maria's role within the Cambridge family. As the children grew from babies into curious toddlers with distinct personalities, Maria's expertise in child development became even more crucial. She navigated the complex challenge of raising future members of the royal family while ensuring they experienced the joys and freedoms of childhood. Prince George, now an energetic 4-year-old,
displayed a natural curiosity about the world around him that both delighted and occasionally challenged his caregivers. Maria recognized in him a bright, questioning mind that needed careful nurturing. She encouraged his interest in airplanes, spending countless hours reading books about aviation and watching planes take off and land at nearby airports. These outings became precious bonding moments, with George chattering excitedly about his dreams of becoming a pilot, while Maria listened with the patience that had become her trademark.
The young prince also showed signs of the responsibility that would one day define his role, often trying to help with his younger sister and showing genuine concern for others' well-being. Maria gently guided these impulses, teaching him about kindness and empathy while ensuring he didn't feel burdened by expectations beyond his years. She understood the delicate balance required to prepare a future king, while allowing him to simply be a child. Princess Charlotte, meanwhile, emerged as a spirited and determined little girl who seemed to inherit the best qualities of both her parents. Her infectious laugh and bold personality brought constant joy to the household, though her strong will sometimes tested even Maria's considerable patience. The princess had a particular talent for mischief, once famously sticking her tongue out at photographers during a public appearance, much to the amusement of onlookers and the gentle exasperation of her nanny. Maria's approach with Charlotte differed from her methods with George, adapting to the little girl's unique personality and needs. Where George responded well to gentle guidance and quiet encouragement, Charlotte thrived on challenges and playful competition. Maria learned to channel the princess's energy into constructive activities, teaching her Spanish songs and dances that became a source of pride for the little girl and a way to honor Maria's heritage. The bond between the nanny and her charges deepened with each shared experience. Maria was there for George's first day at nursery school, holding Catherine's hand as they watched him walk bravely into his classroom. She celebrated Charlotte's first words and comforted both children through typical childhood illnesses and fears. Her presence provided stability and comfort during a period when William and Catherine's royal duties were expanding significantly. The arrival of Prince Louis in April 2018 presented Maria with perhaps her greatest challenge yet, caring for 3 young children, each with distinct needs and personalities, while maintaining the discretion and professionalism required of her position, would have overwhelmed a lesser person. But Maria approached the challenge with the same calm competence she had demonstrated since her first day with the family. Prince Louis proved to be a happy, easygoing baby who seemed to thrive on the chaos and love surrounding him. Maria quickly established routines that accommodated all 3 children, ensuring that the older ones didn't feel neglected while giving the new baby the attention he needed. She developed innovative ways to involve George and Charlotte in caring for their new brother, fostering sibling bonds that would last a lifetime. The logistics of managing 3 young royals became increasingly complex. Public appearances required careful coordination to ensure all 3 children were properly prepared and comfortable. Maria's ability to anticipate needs, pack appropriate supplies, and maintain calm in potentially overwhelming situations proved invaluable during state visits and official engagements. One particularly memorable incident occurred during a polo match attended by the entire family. Prince Louis, then just over a year old, became fussy in the heat and crowds. Maria quickly assessed the situation, discreetly removing him from the public area to a quiet spot where she could soothe him while keeping a watchful eye on George and Charlotte. Her seamless handling of the situation, captured by photographers but handled with such grace that it barely registered as unusual, exemplified her professional excellence. The children's education became another area where Maria's influence proved significant. Working closely with William and Catherine, she helped establish learning routines that balanced academic preparation with creative play. Her multilingual abilities proved particularly valuable, as she introduced the children to Spanish language and culture while supporting their English and French lessons. Maria's own cultural background became an unexpected gift to the Cambridge family. She shared stories of Spanish traditions, taught the children traditional songs, and introduced them to different perspectives on art, music, and literature. These cultural exchanges enriched the children's understanding of the world, while deepening their affection for the woman who had become such an important part of their lives. The Spanish nanny's influence extended beyond the children to the broader royal household. Her warmth and professionalism earned her respect among other staff members, many of whom came to rely on her judgment and support. She became a bridge between different departments, helping coordinate schedules and ensuring smooth operations during family events and official functions. Catherine often remarked privately on how much she had learned from watching Maria interact with the children. The nanny's intuitive understanding of child psychology, combined with her practical approach to everyday challenges, provided valuable insights for the young mother. Their relationship evolved from employer and employee to trusted collaborators in the crucial task of raising the next generation of royals.
William, too, developed deep appreciation for Maria's contributions. Her ability to maintain the children's routines during his and Catherine's absences gave him peace of mind during important royal duties. He particularly valued her judgment during family discussions about the children's future education and activities, often seeking her input on decisions that would shape their development. As the children grew older, Maria faced new challenges in balancing their increasing independence with the security requirements of their positions. She worked closely with palace security teams to ensure the children could enjoy normal childhood experiences while remaining safe. Park visits, playdates with non-royal friends, and simple outings to local shops all required careful planning and coordination. The public's fascination with Maria grew alongside the children. Photographers learned to recognize her distinctive presence at family events, and her impeccable style and composed demeanor earned admiration from royal watchers around the world. Despite the attention, she maintained the discretion that had marked her service from the beginning, never granting interviews or sharing personal insights about her charges. Behind the scenes, Maria was quietly documenting the children's growth through carefully maintained journals and photo albums. These personal records, created with Catherine's knowledge and approval, captured precious moments that might otherwise be lost in the whirlwind of royal life. From George's first successful bicycle ride to Charlotte's elaborate tea parties for her dolls, to Louis's infectious giggles during bath time, Maria preserved memories that the family would treasure forever. The children's personalities continued to flourish under Maria's patient guidance. George's natural leadership qualities emerged as he took on the role of protective older brother, while Charlotte's creativity found expression through art projects and imaginative play. Louis, the youngest, developed his own distinct character, showing signs of both his siblings' best qualities, along with his own unique charm. As the decade progressed, Maria's role evolved from nanny to trusted family advisor. Her insights into the children's needs, fears, and dreams became invaluable during important family decisions. When discussions arose about schooling options or activity choices, her voice carried significant weight in the deliberations. The depth of the family's trust in Maria became evident during times of crisis or challenge. When negative press attention occasionally focused on the children, Maria provided a calm, protective presence that helped shield them from unnecessary stress. Her ability to maintain normalcy during difficult periods became one of her most valued qualities. By 2022, after 8 years with the family, Maria had become more than a nanny. She had become a cornerstone of the Cambridge household. Her quiet strength, unwavering dedication, and genuine love for the children had created bonds that transcended typical employment relationships. The shy Spanish woman who had once nervously prepared for her first interview at Kensington Palace had evolved into an indispensable member of one of the world's most important families, setting the stage for recognition that would acknowledge not just her professional excellence, but her extraordinary personal contribution to the lives of 3 very special children. The conversation that would change everything began quietly on a Tuesday morning in September 2023. William and Catherine sat in their private study at Adelaide Cottage, surrounded by the comfortable chaos of family life. George's homework scattered on a side table, Charlotte's latest artwork displayed proudly on the walls, and Louis's toy airplanes arranged in careful formation on the carpet. The topic they were discussing, however, was far from ordinary. For months, the royal couple had been privately contemplating how to properly acknowledge Maria's extraordinary contribution to their family. Traditional employee recognition seemed inadequate for someone who had become so integral to their children's lives and development. They had watched her navigate 8 years of devoted service with grace, discretion, and an unwavering commitment that went far beyond professional duty. The idea had first surfaced during a family dinner the previous spring. George, now 10 years old and increasingly aware of the significance of honors and recognition, had innocently asked why Maria didn't have any medals like the ones he'd seen on visiting dignitaries and family friends. His question, delivered with the earnest curiosity of childhood, had struck a chord with his parents. Out of the mouths of babes came a truth they had long felt but never articulated. Maria deserved recognition that matched her contribution. Catherine had been the first to suggest exploring the possibility of a royal honor. Her research into the various orders and medals available revealed the perfect option: the Royal Victorian Order, an honor specifically designed to recognize distinguished personal service to the monarch and the royal family. The order, established by Queen Victoria in 1896, was uniquely appropriate, as it recognized service that went beyond mere professional competence to encompass genuine dedication and personal sacrifice. The process of nomination required careful documentation of Maria's service record, a task that proved both moving and revealing for William and Catherine.
As they compiled evidence of her contributions, they found themselves reflecting on countless moments where Maria's presence had made the difference between chaos and calm, between stress and serenity.
They recalled her handling of Lewis's first major illness, when she had remained by his bedside for 3 straight nights, monitoring his fever and ensuring he received proper care while allowing his parents to maintain their scheduled engagements. Her expertise in recognizing early symptoms and her calm management of the crisis had potentially prevented serious complications.
The nomination documents also highlighted Maria's role during the family's most challenging public moments. During the Queen's Platinum Jubilee celebrations in 2022, when the crowds and noise threatened to overwhelm the children, Maria's calm presence and innovative distraction techniques had enabled them to participate fully in the historic events. Her ability to anticipate problems and prepare solutions had made countless public appearances successful where they might otherwise have been difficult for young children. Perhaps most significantly, the nomination emphasized Maria's contribution to the children's emotional and psychological development. Child psychologists consulted during the process confirmed that the stability and consistency she provided had been crucial during formative years marked by unique pressures and public scrutiny. Her multilingual abilities, cultural knowledge, and educational insights had enriched the children's development in ways that would benefit them throughout their lives. The approval process moved through various levels of palace administration with unprecedented speed. Senior courtiers who had initially viewed the nomination with routine administrative interest found themselves genuinely moved by the documentation of Maria's service. Several veteran palace officials privately remarked that they had rarely seen such compelling evidence of personal dedication and positive impact. Queen Elizabeth II, in one of her final official acts before her death in September 2022, had personally reviewed and approved the nomination. The monarch, known for her keen understanding of service and dedication, had reportedly been impressed by the evidence of Maria's contribution to her great-grandchildren's development. Her approval carried special significance, representing recognition from the head of the institution that Maria had served with such distinction. The timing of the honor's announcement was carefully coordinated to coincide with Maria's 10th anniversary of service to the family. The decision to make the recognition public, rather than keeping it within the private family circle, reflected the royal couple's desire to acknowledge publicly what Maria meant to them and their children. On the morning of the announcement, Maria received the news in the same private sitting room where she had first met William and Catherine nearly a decade earlier. The official letter, bearing the royal seal and written in formal language, seemed almost surreal to the woman who had always seen herself simply as someone doing her job with love and dedication. The children's reactions to the news provided some of the most touching moments of the entire process. George, now old enough to understand the significance of royal honors, felt a sense of pride and vindication that the woman who had been such an important part of his life was being recognized officially. Charlotte, with her characteristic directness, declared that Maria had always been special and that everyone should know it. Louis, the youngest at 5, simply hugged Maria tightly and asked if this meant she would stay with them forever. The public announcement was made through official palace channels on a Thursday morning, with a carefully worded statement that balanced acknowledgement of Maria's service with respect for the family's privacy. The response was immediate and overwhelmingly positive. Messages of congratulations poured in from around the world, with many noting that recognition of domestic staff and caregivers was long overdue. Media coverage of the honor focused on Maria's exceptional qualifications and the rarity of such recognition for nannies and childcare professionals. Royal commentators noted that the award reflected the modern monarchy's understanding of the importance of acknowledging all forms of service, not just traditional ceremonial or administrative roles. The formal investiture ceremony took place at Windsor Castle on a crisp autumn morning. Maria, dressed in a navy suit that she had carefully selected with Catherine's input, walked into the state apartments with a composure that belied her inner emotions. The ceremony itself was intimate, attended only by close family members and senior palace officials. When Prince William placed the insignia of the Royal Victorian Order around Maria's neck, the moment represented more than just recognition of past service. It symbolized the completion of a remarkable journey from a nervous interview candidate to an honored member of the royal household. The formal citation praised her exceptional dedication, discretion, and contribution to the welfare and development of their Royal Highnesses Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. The children's presence at the ceremony added special meaning to the occasion. They sat quietly in the front row, their faces shining with pride and excitement. For them, this moment validated what they had always known, that Maria was not just their nanny, but a beloved member of their family who deserved recognition for her love and care. Following the ceremony, a private reception allowed family and staff to celebrate together.
The queen consort, who had worked closely with Maria during various family events, spoke warmly about her professionalism and the visible positive impact she had on the children. Senior palace officials who had initially been skeptical about recognizing domestic staff positions found themselves genuinely impressed by Maria's accomplishments and character.
The honor's impact extended far beyond the immediate recognition. It set a precedent for acknowledging the contributions of all royal household staff, particularly those involved in childcare and family support. Other long-serving staff members found their own contributions newly appreciated, and recruitment for similar positions received renewed interest from highly qualified candidates. For Maria herself, the honor represented validation of her life's work and calling. The shy woman from Palencia who had arrived in England seeking to build a career in childcare had found something much more valuable: a family who loved her and a role that gave meaning to every day of her service. The months following the ceremony brought new dimensions to Maria's role within the royal household. While her daily responsibilities remained largely unchanged, her enhanced status brought increased respect from colleagues and new opportunities to mentor younger staff members. She began sharing her expertise with other childcare professionals, contributing to training programs and serving as an unofficial ambassador for the importance of quality childcare. The children, now older and more independent, continued to rely on Maria for guidance and support. Her role evolved from hands-on childcare to trusted advisor and confidante. As they faced new challenges in school and social situations, her wisdom and experience provided stability and reassurance. William and Catherine frequently reflected on how fortunate they had been to find Maria when they needed her most. Her presence had allowed them to fulfill their royal duties while knowing their children were receiving love, attention, and guidance that went far beyond professional requirements. The honor, while significant, represented only a small acknowledgement of the immeasurable contribution she had made to their family. As Maria looked back on the decade that had transformed her life, she felt profound gratitude for the opportunity to play such a meaningful role in the development of 3 remarkable children.
The recognition she had received was gratifying, but the real reward had always been the daily privilege of watching George, Charlotte, and Louis grow into kind, curious, and confident young people. The story of Maria Teresa Turrión Barralo's royal honor became more than just recognition of exceptional service. It represented the importance of acknowledging those who work behind the scenes to support and nurture others, the value of dedication and love in professional relationships, and the possibility of finding profound purpose and service to others. Her journey from Norland graduate to honored member of the royal household demonstrated that true recognition comes not from titles or ceremony, but from the daily choice to serve with excellence, discretion, and genuine care for those entrusted to your protection and guidance.